Today's webinar is on how to use LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool in this industry. I personally think it's one of the least utilized tools for lead generation and social media use in our industry in particular, and really in sales in general. So we're going to talk about that. Now, before we do, I only have 2 slides on this particular recording. So if you're listening to the recorded version, it's going to be pretty short because I'm actually going to go in and give you some specific examples in my own LinkedIn profile, but I obviously can't record those and post them on YouTube. So, okay, steps to effective LinkedIn use. Number 1, create your profile. Title and summary are key. So when you create your profile, title and summary are key. You want to make sure that your title makes sense. I like using, for an agent, I like using registered agent for merchant services. That's a great title, registered agent for merchant services. Then you can use your summary to talk more about that and explain which processors you work with, what services you offer, things like that. An interesting statistic, 100%. I looked this up. The reason I'm doing this on LinkedIn, just so you know, is that last week I was doing some research and I was trying to understand the top 20% of our agents. What is it that sets them apart from the bottom 80%? The top 20% of our agents that I looked up, 100% of those agents on their LinkedIn profile, they had updated it to reflect the fact that they were selling merchant services. Okay, if they had a LinkedIn profile, 100% of them had updated their profile to not only to say that this is one of the things that they do, but that this is what they do. This was their core identity in their professional network, was that they sell merchant services. If you want to succeed in this industry and you want to do what all the other agents are doing that are succeeding, then you need to go into LinkedIn immediately. As soon as this call's over, go to LinkedIn and change your profile. If you're not willing to identify with the industry, if you're not willing to identify with this new choice that you've made, there's 2 things that tells me. Number 1, you're not really committed to it. Because if you were really committed to it, you would change your LinkedIn profile and you would let all of your connections know that this is a new direction where you're going. I had a guy ask me a year ago, I think it was, a friend of mine, he was looking to start a business, and he said, what's the number 1 thing I could do to make sure that I'm going to, succeed? He said, I'm worried I'm going to get started and quit because it'll be too hard. He said, what's the main thing I could do? And I said, that's easy. Make a list of the top 30 people that you respect the most and send each of them a letter explaining what you're about to embark on. If you do that, it would be too embarrassing for you to quit, and you will make it work. Well, LinkedIn is basically the way to do that online, okay? All of your professional networks are on LinkedIn, and so they're all going to see what you post on there. So if you want to, make yourself no provision for failure, and you want to make sure that you're actually going to succeed in this industry, then do what all the other agents do and change your LinkedIn profile to say that what you do now is you sell merchant services. Okay? So updating the profile is something that all the agents do. Every single one that I looked up, not even joking, every single one I looked up that was one of our top agents, something that they all do, other than prospecting in the field, is they all change their LinkedIn profile. Next, invest the time to make it complete. It would take you probably 2 hours to really go through and make your LinkedIn profile complete. Think through it. Really think through how you're wording it. Go through the summary, the skill set, your history, basically your resume. Put all of that in there. And again, you want to frame it to reflect what you're doing now. So for instance, in your summary, if your recent job was in retail, then you would want to put in the summary, I have a background in the retail industry which helps me better understand what owners of retail businesses are looking for in their credit card processing needs. Okay? So you want to frame whatever your past experience was, you want to frame that into the view of what you're doing now, which is selling merchant services. So number 1, create your profile. Number 2, build your network. Your network should mirror your real life network. Now, my network, I had at one time a little over 1,000 people that I was connected to on LinkedIn. And after I read a book, it's called The Power of a Link, and I read that book, and I took my network from a little over 1,000 to 120. And my network is now back up to a little over 200. Because you want your network to reflect your real life network. Otherwise, it's kind of useless. If you don't really know somebody, then it doesn't do any good to have them connected with you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very different from Facebook or Twitter. This is not a place where you're trying to get the most number of connections you can get. Many of you that are getting started out in your business career, you probably might have 30 or 40 connections, and that's fine. Those 30 or 40 connections are plenty enough to get you started, and that's going to be very powerful, but only put the connections there that make sense. Only put the connections there that are real life connections, because what we're going to do in the next step is we're going to utilize those real life connections to get additional connections. Send email invites to every business owner. When you make a sale, or even when you talk to a business owner and they agree to be on your email list, always email them an invite to LinkedIn. You want to try to build a network of all the business owners you can in your local market that are on LinkedIn. So, number one, create your profile. Number two, build your network. And number three, use the advanced people search to generate leads, or what I would call referrals, in your local market. Learn which business owners are connected, and invest time in building the right relationships. Okay, so once you have created your profile and you have been building your network, then you're going to be able to use the advanced people search, which I'll show you in just a second. And that's going to allow you to generate leads, referrals in your local market, because you can search on LinkedIn, you can search for people in a certain geographic area that are second degree connections with you. And that's going to be a huge source of leads for you, because if you've built your network correctly, then if they're a second degree connection, that means you know somebody that they know very well. So you can ask that person for a reference or a referral. Learn which business owners are connected. By going through these searches, you're going to see which business owners are the most well connected, and it might surprise you. You know, sometimes there'll be a small business that's really a keystone account for you because they're connected to everybody in your local market. And you know, a lot of times agents will tell me, "Oh, this guy is going to be a huge client because he's so well connected." Okay, how do you know that? He says he's well connected. That's great. Okay, but is he really that well connected? Well, how do you know? Go on LinkedIn. You'll find out how well connected they are on LinkedIn by looking and finding how many other local business owners they're connected to on LinkedIn. And then number three, under this section, invest time in building the right relationships. So once you have identified which accounts are kind of key accounts, then you want to invest time in those relationships. And you want to try to do as much as you can for those people, because again, you're trying to access their connections on LinkedIn. Okay, so now, if you're watching the recording, thanks for watching. This is all the recording that we have. We're going to kill the recording, and then I'm going to log into our LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile, and show you a couple things on there. Although the recorded webinar is over, I wanted to add this quick section to show you how to do a query to generate leads for your profile. Right now, I'm logged into my profile. I just logged into LinkedIn.com, and I wanted to show you a way that you can generate leads. Up here in the upper right-hand corner in the search bar, next to the search bar, you can click Advanced. In the Advanced section, this is exactly how you want to build your query. First of all, you want to put in your postal code over here. So I'm going to put in my postal code. And then you want to put in within. I usually do within 25 miles. Then up here for the title, you want to make sure you put in a title of owner and current. So you're looking for people within 25 miles of your zip code that have the word owner in their title. Then down here towards the bottom, you're going to put in a couple different things that you can do. Over here, you can put in industries, groups you're associated with, but what I'm going to show you is the relationship. You want to select second connections. What that means, this is going to show you a list of all the people within your network on LinkedIn that are a second degree connection. In other words, they're connected to someone that you're connected to that have the title owner in their name. So now we click search, and we can see all of these different people here that are within my area that are connected. That gave me 64 results. Then what you want to do is over here to the right in the upper right hand corner, you want to click on Save Search. When you save the search, you can have that send you, first of all, you can name the search here, and then you can have a weekly email alert that will send out to you. Once you're actively developing your network on LinkedIn, you'll be receiving 1 to 5 leads a week from this email alert that's going to show you here are 1 to 5 new people that are connected to somebody you're connected to that are the owner of a business within your service area. I hope that short tip has helped you, and I'm going to show you one more before I end this recorded version. The other thing that you can do is when you talk to a business owner, if you would like to email them an invite to LinkedIn, but you just want to email them that invite, you go up here to Contacts, click on Add Connections. Then you're going to go over here and click on Any Email right over here. Then you're going to click down here at the bottom, Invite by Individual Email, and then you can type out their email address. Now, keep in mind that LinkedIn is a social network, so they're striving up here at the top, they're striving to get you to put in all of your contacts, and that's a huge mistake. You don't want to do that. As we talked about, you want to build a very tight network just of the people that you want to invite to your LinkedIn network so that you know when you get someone who's a second-degree connection, you know that you really do have a strong tie to somebody that knows that person personally. So you click right down here to put their email address in, click Send Invitation, and that's going to send them an invitation to connect with you on LinkedIn. My name is James Shepard. I hope you enjoyed this recording and that it was a help to you. If you have any questions or like to join our team, please contact me, James at ccsalespro.com. James at ccsalespro.com. And don't forget to join our weekly webinar Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks and have a great day.